Good evening, and I welcome you to your transformative program, Politics and Beyond. My name, as usual, is Emmanuel Jr., the Chief Crusader Against Corruption here in Ghana. I keep telling you that if you really want to transform the future of this country, then you have no option than to tune into your transformative program, Politics and Beyond, each and every Monday at 8 p.m. And I'm happy that you've done same, or you've done the exact thing that I've been talking about. Just 3 days ago, actually, we had Friday being a holiday, and so we were defining this weekend as a long weekend. And the reason was that Friday, the 1st of May, is by law a day that we dedicated to celebrate our laborers. And when I make reference to laborers, it is not in the traditional definition of laborers, but I'm making reference to workers. And so May Day is often referred to as a day that we celebrate workers. You are a worker, I'm a worker. Unfortunately, it looks like when we talk of workers, we are always talking about people in ties, but that is not really so. Anyone, irrespective of your activity that you engage in, as long as it is legitimate and it does not go contrary to the laws of this country, you are indeed one of those for which we've decided to dedicate 1st of May to celebrate. Having said that, isn't it then in line or appropriate for us to dedicate today to talk about wages, to talk about salaries, to talk about labor's share, to talk about how we are taking care of our laborers, or we are taking care of our workers in this country. And that's why this evening's conversation is going to be centered on labor share. We want to find out whether or not Ghana's economy is treating our laborers very well, or we are not treating the laborers fairly. If we are not, what will be the best approach for us to ensure that laborers are, giving, as Kufuor will say, what is due them? The country will not pretend to be paying laborers or workers, and workers will not also be pretending to be working in this country. So this evening's conversation is going to be centered on that. It is going to be interactive, as it has always been. We will take a break, but even before then, because it is going to be very interactive, there are 2 areas I want us to look at. The first one is going to be on Ghana's GDP, and we are going to see how we can relate that to you as a worker, or to me as a worker, in terms of how much comes to us. Then the second one is going to be the share. When we talk of labor share, we are just looking at the GDP, gross domestic product, the total amount that Ghana realizes at the end of every year. How much of that amount goes into your pocket in the form of wages, in the form of salaries, in the form of benefits, in the form of SNIT contributions, and all that. So we are going to look at 2 different segments. The first one will be the labor share. The second one will be calculating the gross domestic product in relation to how much you feel in your pocket. And the interesting part is that we are going to also find a way of associating this with other countries. Let's compare and see whether Ghana is really doing well or we are not doing well. And so the focus is on labor share. We want to find out whether Ghana's economy is being fair to you as a worker, to me as a worker, to all of us as workers. Stay tuned. After this short break, I'll be right back, and for us to go deep into this conversation. I'll be right back.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. Natural mineral water. simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, Ghana. Payday is here. Stand a chance to win instant cash prizes on Review Scratch for Win. Up to 100,000 Ghana cedis to be won today. Get ready to play Review Scratch for Win to win big on TV XYZ. Stop scrolling and start winning. It's simple. Dial *850*6# on all networks. Choose your card type and select your lucky card for a chance to win big. Play with at least 5 Ghana cedis or more. You could win up to 100,000 Ghana cedis in cash prizes instantly. Yes, you heard right. 100,000 Ghana cedis in cash prizes. Don't miss out on the chance to win big. Dial *850*6# to play now. Review Scratch for Win. Scratch ticket. Baby Sika pound. You must be 18 years and above to play. Terms and conditions apply. This game is regulated and approved by the NMA and the Caritas Platform.
If a cry na menyisika, etia ye mefui.
Ehinfa pa na menya bosia edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre mi ye bosia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yemamwa kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hyehyɛ ahodo bi te sɛ gadifo abosia, ekokro bosia, susu account, and it does all savings account. Me bada chain savings account, and the akeka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 03422919896. Na won so what to me aka say.
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Me damwase.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Welcome back. As I indicated, we are looking at the labor share and whether or not Ghana's economy is treating workers of Ghana fairly. I think it is not enough for us to just dedicate one day and say that we are celebrating ceremoniously or we are using some form of ceremony to celebrate workers. What workers are really interested in is whether or not they are getting what is due them. If you have a country like Ghana, for instance, and at this stage, as I indicated, it's going to be very interactive. At the right time, I'll activate the phone lines for you to also call in. But it's going to be very, very interactive. If you have a phone or you have a calculator, whether it is a separate calculator or it is on the phone, I want you to have it by you because we'll be engaging. So if Ghana, for instance, our gross domestic product is 100 cedis. At the end of the day, we want to look at this 100 cedis, how much went into wages and salaries. We want to look at what went into infrastructure and other things. The quantity or the amount from the 100 cedis that went into wages, that went into the pockets of the workers, is what we refer to as the labor's share. And so let's look at a year called 2023, for instance. If you make reference to 2023, Ghana's GDP was 840 billion Ghana cedis. That was Ghana's GDP in the year 2023. Now, the year 2023, we are told that an amount of 260 billion was taken and was used for salaries, was used for wages, SNITs, bonuses, and all that. And so if you want to look at the labor share, all you have to do is to take the 260 and divide it by the total GDP, which is the 840. And when you multiply it by 100 in terms of percentage, you end up getting 31%. So what it tells us is that in the year 2023, out of the 100% GDP that we got, 31% went into salaries. 31% came back to you as a form of wages, salaries, bonuses, SNITs, and all that. The interesting thing is that if you look at other countries, and over the past years, it has been confirmed statistically that Ghana's labor share is between, or it ranges from 31% to, or let's say 30% to 33%. So it moves from 30% to 33% yearly. The final amount that we get, the total amount we get in the form of GDP, between 30 to 31% or 33% goes into our pockets as workers. That is what it is. If you look at other countries, for instance, and let me quickly look at 2 or 3 countries so we can make the comparison. Kenya labor share is 38%. Nigeria, their labor share is between 25 and 30%. South Africa, and no wonder the guys in there are going on the tangent of xenophobic attacks, because they feel that the workers are being treated well, they have built a good economy, so they don't want foreigners to come and benefit from it. So the labor share in South Africa is 45%. Ghana's own is between 30 and 33%. Kenya, 38% of their GDP goes back to workers as wages, salaries. Nigeria, 25 to 30% of their GDP goes back to workers as wages and salaries. In South Africa, 45% of their GDP goes back to them. Then we come to the United States of America, where a lot of the youth want to go to because they feel that the economy is good. And when we talk of skilled labor, we talk of even unskilled labor, human labor, moving from this country to other countries like America and co. They do so because they feel that the workers there are treated better than the workers in here. In the United States of America, the labor share is 58%. So more than half of the GDP that America is able to put together, more than half goes back to workers in the form of salaries, in the form of wages, bonuses, and all that. The interesting one, and I discovered this afternoon, has to do with Norway. The country called Norway, 65% of their GDP goes back to workers. That's really interesting. So 65% goes back to them as a compensation, wages, irrespective of the name you want to give to it. Ghana is 30 to 33%. That gives you an idea of the conversation we are having this evening. There's one area which I also want you to look at, and I believe at this time you have your calculators, because I will need you to give me the feedback. I will need you to give me the answer. I want us to look at what we call the per capita, the per capita income. Per capita income simply talks about the total GDP and averagely how much each worker is making. And that is what we define to be the per capita income. And so that is where I need you to come in. So I'm going to give you some figures, and I'll come back to you for you to give me or share the answers and the responses with me, with comments that you may want to form from it. The first one is Ghana. And we are using the 2025 GDP, gross domestic product, in the year 2025. Ghana's GDP in the year 2025 was approximately $82 billion. Billion, not million. B, not M. So have that figure down. 82, it's actually 82.3 something, but let's use $82 billion. Norway, theirs in the year 2025, their GDP was $484 billion. So let me go over it. Ghana's GDP in the year 2025 was $82 billion. Norway in the year 2025 was $484 billion. If you want to find the per capita income, all you have to do, ideally, will be to use the working force or the workforce of the two countries. But for simplicity purposes, let us use the entire population. Ghana's population in the year 2025 approximately was 34 million. Norway population in the year 2025 approximately was 5 million. So Ghana's population 34 million, Norway population 5 million. Let's do when you divide, that is where you are going to get the per capita. So divide 82 billion dollars by 34 million population. So you do 82 billion by 34 million. That will give you the per capita income for Ghana. And then you do 484 billion. That is 9 zeros. 484 billion divided by 5 million population. And that will also give you the per capita income for Norway. Just do the calculation. These two figures, I will need you to send them to me when the WhatsApp lines are, exhibited on the screen. You share the answers with me, and then you also give me comments. Compare these two countries, Ghana and that of Norway, and let's find out where we went wrong. Let's find out whether or not Ghana's labor force is being treated fairly. That is the first thing I want us to do. Then moving on. Remember last Friday, as I indicated, there was this ceremony that took place. The president made some comments and made some promises when he met the workers. He gave some assurances. He made some promises. He made reference to some things that he was doing or he is still doing. And so I want us to quickly listen to the bites that came from the president on the 1st of May 2026. After the bites, we'll come back and we'll continue the conversation.
I urge the TUC and organized labor not to sit back and look on aloof when management and governing boards are mismanaging their enterprises. Because when these enterprises collapse, it is the workers that suffer the most. And so when you see things going wrong, don't sit aloof. Point it out and make sure corrections are done. We are considering absorbing the Western Rail Line under the Big Push program. The completion of the Western Rail Line will open up the bauxite and manganese concessions in the Western Corridor and also make it easy to transport our cocoa beans from the plantations to the ports. We'll also make it easy to transport our cocoa beans from the plantation to the ports. The launch of the National Workplace HIV and Wellness Policy early this year, together with our focus on the Occupational Safety and Health Special Task Force, reflects our commitment to the Ghanaian workers. We're intensifying factory inspections to ensure that no worker loses their life or limb in the pursuit of their daily bread. Furthermore, the digitization of labor compliance through the National Workplace Compliance and Safety Management System will ensure that employers can no longer cut corners. The government is also expanding access to quality healthcare and facilities by constructing and equipping district, regional, polyclinics, and CHEP compounds. I urge all Ghanaians to take advantage of these healthcare interventions. The 24-hour economy policy recently approved by Parliament is a flagship of our growth strategy. We are moving beyond the 8-hour workday. In the manufacturing sector, we'll provide tax and other incentives to industry and reduce power costs for companies that operate multiple work shifts. We are nearing completion of a new labor bill that addresses modern trends like remote work, the gig economy, and digital platforms. This adaptation will ensure that every worker, regardless of sector or geographical location, gains protection, fair contracts, and access to benefits such as secure pensions and clear rights. We've also given clearance to employ 40,000 security personnel at a rate of 10,000 every year from 2025 to 2028. This will help ease the backlog of our young children who are sitting at home with no work to do. Fellow workers, the theme for this year's May Day, pivoting to growth, jobs, and sustainable livelihoods, resetting Ghana beyond macroeconomic stability, reflects exactly the roadmap of my administration. When we took office, our first task was to stop the bleeding, to stabilize the currency, to rein in inflation, reduce interest rates, and restore fiscal discipline. That was the message I delivered to you when we met at the May Day celebration last year in Accra. Today, I'm pleased to report to you that we have made very good progress. We've restored fiscal discipline, we've reduced inflationary pressures, we've stabilized the cedi, we've reduced interest rates, and we've renewed investor confidence. These gains, though modest, mark a decisive turning point for our economy, and we continue to move from recovery to transformation, from fragility to resilience. We've made significant strides, but as I've always said, macroeconomic stability is desirable, but it is not an end in itself.
What active? I know people have started calling in, but please, we've not activated the phone lines yet. Whatever you have to say for now, send them through the WhatsApp line as exhibited on the screen, and then it will be read, whilst at the right time we'll activate the phone lines for you to make the call. I believe you have the calculation done. You've been able to do the GDP for Ghana and that of Norway. Go a step further. The figures that you got, divide the figures by 12, so that we'll be able to know how much we are making as workers. If we are discussing the per capita income, how much we'll be making as workers every month, and how much workers in Norway will also be making every month. We'll do the comparison as we look at whether or not Ghana's economy is fair to the labor share that we have. So let's go through the slides that we have. We are looking at labor share. We are looking at whether or not Ghana's economy is fair to the workers. It is important we have this just because we are in the month of May. We are looking at the reasons why we have rising cost of living, we have wages versus inflation concerns, and we have public debate on fairness, and that is why this evening's conversation is centered on that. Portion of national income paid to workers is what we define to be the labor share, and I've taken you through that already. We've even talked about how to do the calculations. We are going to look at and this includes wages, it includes salaries, it includes net contributions and all that, bonuses. They are all part of the labor share. We want to compare that to the capital that we make, the profits, and we'll be asking ourselves that at the end of the year, if we have a GDP at the end of the year, and you can limit or reduce it to the company that you work in, you want to find out the profit that comes. You want to find out at the end of the month, at the end of the year, how much the company is making, and then you can calculate the labor share. That is, if you know the percentage that goes into salaries in your organization, and you can determine whether or not it is fair. But we are looking at the entirety of it. We are looking at Ghana. We are looking at the Ghana as a country. You know, that's what we are looking at. The maybe key messages that we took. There was a call for living wages. There was a call on the part of workers of Ghana for better working conditions. There was concern about job security. And there was also a need, a significant call for fair distribution of wealth. So these were the calls that came on May Day. Let's look at Ghana's economic overview. There's been a conversation over the past period that tells us that yes, the GDP growth is recovering. We've had this conversation since last year compared to the year before we went into an election, the 2024 elections. The figures suggest clearly that there has been or there is a recovery. We are on the recovery path as far as our GDP growth is concerned. Yes, we are also looking at the high inflation impact. Yeah, the past period, once a while we hear information that the inflation percentage or rate is reducing. We are arresting it, we are taking care of it and all that, and yet there are concerns. And so we are looking at that also. The currency depreciation, the growth not evenly felt. These are concerns by workers. Growth, people think that, or workers think that, yes, we have all these economic wonderful indices, and yet whether or not we are having it in our pockets is another thing, and that is what Ghanaian workers are looking at. Wages as against cost of living. The raw wages lag inflation. We have rising food and transport costs, and that is one thing that workers have been talking about. In recent time, we have what we call the purchasing power reduced. The irony is that we talk about doing very well economically. We talk about the GDP doing well, inflation doing well, depreciation doing well, all the economic indices. As far as my old brother Ato Forson's ministry is concerned, Ghana is on the recovery path. Yet the reality is that Ghanaian workers seems not to be appreciating this in their pockets. So where lies the disconnect? What is really causing the disconnection? And that is why we need to look at this. Minimum wage realities. Let's look at the minimum wage realities. We have low relative to living costs. We have many who are earning minimum or below the, the average cost that we are expecting. We also have people or families that are struggling just because they feel that the labor's share is not corresponding with the day-to-day expenses that we are having in this country. Workers are crying. Workers are crying. I have heard them, the union, especially the trade union congress, those who speak on behalf of workers, I have heard them over the past days, especially over the weekend, lamenting and talking about the fact that things are not going well as they expect them to be. They put in the maximum efforts and they are not getting the returns as they are supposed to get. There are some challenges anyway, and so let's look at the informal sector challenge. And the informal sector challenge, we have the fact that 70 to 80% of the workforce in this country are in the informal sector. And what that means is that we have low or next to nothing when it comes to job security. If you're in the informal sector, it becomes very difficult for you to say that you are securing your job. Limited benefits. Because we are in the informal sector, it also becomes very difficult. And most importantly, weak protection. Ghana's TUC, according to statistics, tells us that just about 10% of the workforce belongs to the Trade Union Congress. Majority do not belong there. And so if they are not unionized, it becomes difficult for them to be protected in any way or form or shape. And this is what is leading to, high youth unemployment as we are experiencing, underemployment being on the rise, people working under poor conditions also being on the rise. And that is also the challenge. That is the challenge. We have the productivity versus pay. We put in a lot. And I always make reference to that fantastic statement made by His Excellency, the former president of this country, John Ejekun Kufuor, who said that workers are pretending to work in this country. Government is also pretending to be paying workers in this country. And that's the fact. So at the end of the day, who loses? The reality will end up hitting us so strongly that we'll end up realizing that, look, we are all losing. Government is pretending to be paying workers. Government is pretending to be taking care of workers. And workers are also pretending to be putting in their maximum. Meanwhile, when you go to other sectors, irrespective of this statement, when you go to other sectors, you realize that we have a lot of genuine, hardworking workers who are putting in their maximum. So productivity rises in some sectors. Meanwhile, when it gets to their pockets, they are not feeling it, or it is not corresponding to the efforts that they put in. Wages that they receive, as I indicated, do not match with the growth. And we have imbalance evidence when it comes to income. So income imbalance, productivity rising, wages not matching. That is the productivity versus pay. Then we look at the corporate profits versus pay. Most companies end up making strong profits. Meanwhile, wages not proportional. Equity concerns, it raises a lot of that, equity concerns. And that is what most at times lead to what we call corruption that I have been talking about over the past years or decades. When you deliberately do not give workers what is due, and I'm not saying that it should be a reason, but when you deliberately do not give workers what is due, the labor share is not proportionate. Workers feel that they are being treated not fairly. They end up, because everyone, as human as we are, we all have what we call survival instincts. So they will end up finding other ways and means to survive. And that will include engaging in corruption and corruption activities. And that is one key reason why it is very difficult for us to fight corruption in a country called Ghana, because workers are pretending to be working. Government is also pretending to be paying workers. And so both seems to be cutting corners. They want to outsmart each other. And workers will want to survive, so they will engage in corrupt practices. And at the end of it, it is the government that will end up losing and suffering. The other one has to do with the tax burden on workers. The labor share, we've acknowledged that it is not what is expected. Meanwhile, after the payments, we have so much burden in terms of tax. So government turns around and finds a way of even reducing what has been given to the worker in the form of wages and salaries. But he does that in a new way called, or a vehicle known as tax. So tax burden, it impacts salaried workers. Indirect taxes also increases burden, and workers feel overtaxed. Social protection gaps. We have limited unemployment support. We have pension concerns, and when you go end of the month, when you decide to go to I'm going to mention one bank, because that is the bank that almost all pensioners that I know go to, and that is Ghana Commercial Bank. When you go there at the end of the month, you will weep for some of our workers who have finished their services to this country, and they are just expecting to have their pensions. The concerns are so many. Healthcare affordability issues also rises. And this all comes up, especially when workers are done serving this country and they are supposed to enjoy their retirements. Sometimes, even in the service, when workers are working, they end up going through these challenges. And so, yes, we ask ourselves again, is Ghana's economy fair? Maybe. It may be fair when it comes to growth, as we've indicated. But when it comes to inequality, when it comes to low wages, when it comes to weak protections, I will find it difficult to think that Ghana's economy is being fair on workers. I don't know what you think. And that is why this very moment I'm going to activate the phone lines for you to call in. And remember, we are looking at solutions. And so we want to find out how best we can have an economy that will say that it is being fair as far as the labor share of this country is concerned. Let's find out from you what you think. The way forward, so the phone lines are activated. Those who were calling earlier, you can call in now. The way forward, one or two things I want to talk about. The first one is whether or not we can increase the minimum wage. Currently, the minimum wage, I think, is about 21 cedis or so. per day. So it means that if you are working throughout the year, just multiply 21 days by 365 days, and then you will know what is due you. That's the minimum that you are supposed to get. I know for sure that in this country we have people who are working, workers who are working, who are still not getting even the minimum wage. And that is the unfortunate thing that we have in this country. We need to strengthen the labor laws, because that is also very, very important. Strengthening the labor laws is one thing that we need to do to ensure that we have some fair environment for our workers. Caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Thank you, sir.
Your name and where you are calling from?
I'm calling from Commandant.
Your name?
I'm speaking calling.
Say it again.
Can I speak in English?
Yes, you can. Ofra, you can speak any language that I understand. You can speak Twi, you can speak Ga, you can speak English also. Wait me a so. Within the also Pacific Kumasi within Collins, meet you.
Pacho, now when we the Ghana,
Collins, Manti Doka and Cabian.
Yeah, payment every and your crowd, the Western Moncante Papa, Papa Dundamani Mamma, may I call may Miss Doon as Mr. Adeka Casa or no me no more, and the room to try 6 million, 10 million a year. And more crowd, no, you are at the like
now, yeah. Where do you
are driving?
We are driving our company. Okay, member company, I need you.
But you can go 15 million.
15 million.
Yes, Smith.
Yeah, two Smith. 1,500. 1,500. Yeah, two Smith near there. Okay, all right, Matty.
Number 2. Almost insurance. Almost can buy any dollar for you can insure.
And it's very, very important. I think ideally you should also be insured. When you're driving in, you should also be insured. Because your insurance packages are insured drivers near there. Collins, thank you so much. May I say why? Next caller, your name and where you're calling from. Okay. So we've lost you. Okay, next caller on the line. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello? Okay, so we are not getting you. All right. As we said, the first thing, just like Colin said, we need to find a way of paying workers very well. And that is also very important. When we are dealing with workers, especially the drivers, when you go to, not just the drivers, when you go to developed countries like, developed countries that we know of, I'm not going to mention any country, but not just workers, even those who do field work, construction and all that. Aside the owners of the companies insuring the company itself, the premises, the workers need also to be insured. Caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Good evening, and thank you for the wonderful talk.
Your name and where you're from?
My name is Joseph Conlan. I'm calling from Kathmandu.
You are calling from where?
Nangpanduru.
Nangpanduru. Okay, great. I'm listening.
Okay. Just firstly, we celebrated Workers' Day. And personally, I said I didn't see the need for us to celebrate it because if you look at the salary disparity, it's just too much. And that is why you just mentioned that workers pretend to work and they also pretend to pay us. So I think that with the new policy regarding salary structure the government is trying to implement, it should be done quick enough so that people don't switch between jobs. When that is done, I don't think there will be the need for somebody to say, I'm leaving my job and to join a different organization because I think they are profiting. Because if we are all having the same qualification and we are paid equally, with almost the same incentives, allowances and those things, nobody will switch between or among jobs. That's my opinion. So I think the government should work on that. quickly. Thank you for the opportunity.
I agree. Thank you so much. In fact, in line with your position, I think that is the reason why the idea of the single spine was born. But unfortunately, it looks like the implementation didn't go as expected, or the formulation of it did not meet the expectation. But the intention was to have some parity, some equality among workers across board. Caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond. Hello, caller.
Good evening.
Good evening. Where are you coming from? You're from saying?
From Kofi.
Kofi Kasefi.
Kasefi, Tadi.
Tadi, meet you, Kofi.
Upocho, may follow discussion. Nagana, one thing, also, Yan Max be. Moko contribute to the Equatorial Guinea. Now, one pay structure or the whole from director to last labor, the same structure, but only allowances, no differentiate. One company do is schedule, or there, or local cooperative or a team friend, or and then what the pay structure and what to do a man, or the no share billing, 70 Ghana, 60 Ghana, 100 Ghana. Now, what the pay structure, what to do, say, safer, or there, or 10 million. Now, allowances nobody differentiate between big men. Oh, yeah, make calculation really I don't know or run business or bobacom. We could pay company now towards we do one which we burn wabada and that's at the back, which is his schedule. Or the American comedy Lebanese. In fact, or a Ghana government, the NNDC the main Equatorial Guinea in the Eastern, the structure, we used to be what would be security? What could them people will turn account 500? Imagine our back ocean they are. In fact, in fact. Oh, yo.
Kofi, it's quite interesting. Equatorial Guinea as okay. Mamentiasi, Opache said, almost flat structure. Okohonwa, Tesebia, Oye, security man, our company A. Obi say security man or company B, Obi a security man or company C, only you need to see a certain amount of money.
And across board the whole country, so 100 million CFA Opiala.
Okay, Kofi, that's a good one. I think there's one thing that we can discuss into details. Caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you are calling from?
My name is George. I'm calling from the Upper West Akim.
Upper West?
Yes, Upper West Akim.
Oh, Upper West Akim, that's nice. Your name again, I didn't get your name.
George.
George. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, Honorable Draft 2020.
Okay, please go ahead.
So my issue has to do with public sectors. And I'll give an example, like teachers and nurses. Whenever they recruit them, and let's say 2-3 months, they want to start paying them. There is a big issue that I have rectified. And with the previous government, it was so serious, they said that people didn't know how to do. You could see that they will announce that they have started paying or they have paid the salaries for these people for a particular month. But if you come to the ground, the reality is that you can even pay, let's say, about 50. And
oh, I think we've lost you. Sorry. Next caller, call on the line. Welcome to Politics and Beyond. Did we lose that one too? Okay. Next caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond. Oh, okay. I don't know whether it is from our end, but caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond. You're saying? You're saying?
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm saying. Adokwashi, who's on your TV set? Reduce volume, no?
Okay.
When you say yes, I know. Me too, Kashi Tikasa. Ukasefin.
Patrol, Master Mister, Mr. Senior, we are discussing a fine part. Now, Acatriano, na Acatriano, so we are Jumana Cemetery of Kaya. Well, Nema Atam, a Jumana will be a Bokron, Acatriano here. But Acatriano, ya, or best for say, or Bokron, while you're being ready. Into Uncle Yakura. And now, Senate, so I sent so Acatriano. Oba musa osineti no oba pension no na osineti no ye ketwe anti enso hwe besa ketwani ya sineti no so ebe kosoro oba homedie mu a obetimi aye property bi na osusu no o enjoy kakra but oba pension no na chese oni hwe no aye mobo anti emi se o discuss no mon ka binchira aban na onto aketwani mo mayen kakra.
What two mama you mention me that say. Call on the line. Welcome to Politics and Beyond. Hello. Welcome to Politics. Hello. Your name and where you are calling from? Hello. Okay. We've lost you. You can call back again. Yes, next caller on the line. Your name and where you're calling from. Okay, we'll get it rectified. So before I get to the last two or so solutions. Okay, so I'm told to pick the very last caller. Caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond. Hello. Udi. Yawo kasa frisinya on mase. Yetio. Dodo na fami kan yiwon on mase. Mu program mu mani ajimu pa na Ghana mi bisese taxi drivers, total drivers, commercial drivers no. Omuka Ghana ejuma fo ho ana so monka. Na aka ho. So I said, to be a man, a car, as my Ghana for us, you deal with I said, be a drivers income. And to Mr. Ghana, no, with my drivers, I free Ghana for one bra. As you Ghana, everything I use. And this is a gain, Ghana for one. You need drivers on some count. This is a me only say taxi driver BJ 300 cities a month, 200 cities a month. It is the work of the taxi at the mother avenue. That's all which you and 300 cities are. And this doesn't have avenue. Obey you, Yana. And I will taxi now. What time I know? Obey me. A deal crown said taxi driver, never say to me them to any day crown would be 10 cities a day, a month using. We are only in Italy. It is a big way for one, even like a hobby. When we did my phone call, the commercial class in Ghana. Ghana, buy Juma, I buy cars here saying, I buy cars here for reason. It is a great way for one young commercial cars and some count. Mammy, this was some commercial drivers, Mutia, Snets. Don't but some union. Union. At times, drivers from a castle, drivers and baby. I said, they are union for 8 dinner drivers. Also, never I said drivers in Yamina. Not as a Metuasia union no honmo. In penny fair that union, no, Omuna, Enka drivers for some more. Sana Apache. Omun drivers are some my Tindia, Bendia Bar, Baby, or woman drivers, Becasa, or money union for the Casa. And the Maya drivers on the yes, say, Kamaran, yes, you will go on never back. No more friend paying for no, or money paying for no car. You are money paying for now, buying the canoe, or Mobana, or Mabacatri.
Answer Omuna Dikai or Mona stations, you know, Mona Dikai to say, you know, so I have joining, you know, the Umba Kali. Mini only literally.
But so unfortunately, this is where we'll end the phoning segments because of time. Thank you so much. We appreciate. I have a number of messages. I'll go through one or two of them. But one thing I also want us to appreciate is that the reason why Ghana's labor share seems to be on the low side is because of, one, the structure of Ghana's economy. And so if we really want to take care of Ghana's the labor force, we want to appreciate them, we want to make sure that we are treating them fairly, we need to look at the structure of Ghana's economy. You have economy where 40% of GDP is services, 20% is industry, and 40% jobs are in the informal. It is too huge. 40% in the informal. It becomes very difficult. Just like the last caller said, I mean, they don't even pay SNET. So what happens to the drivers? Because you cannot drive your entire life. At a point in time, you want to go on retirement. At a point in time, health will not even allow you. When you get to that stage, what happens to you? The high informality of our system is too bad. 85% of Ghanaian workers are in the informal sector. What it means is that they don't have anything called pay slips. They don't have any minimum wage enforcement. He mentioned it, and one of the callers said it rightly, that there are people who are being paid 500 Ghana cedis a month, 400 Ghana cedis a month. That is way below the minimum wage. But who is enforcing it? The enforceability becomes difficult because most of these individuals are in the informal sector. We have even weak bargaining power. How can they bargain? How can they make sure that what is due them is given to them? Because they are in the informal sector, and that is also one thing. I think that Minister of Employment, and I think that should be Rashid Purple. I don't really know what he's doing at that ministry, but I think that the past years, ministers we've had to handle that particular ministry have not done so well when it comes to the informal sector, structuring them and making sure that what is due them is given to them. And it saddens me to say that it looks like the trend is going on or continuing, even under the current Minister of Employment, and I'm making reference to Rashid Purple. What are you doing when it comes to the informal sector? 85% of Ghana's working population find themselves in the informal sector. Who is fighting for them? How are we structuring them? Then we also have the weak unions. I indicated earlier, and I was amazed actually, that TUC membership that we keep talking about, trade union congress in this country, when we talk of workers, we are talking about trade union workers, trade union congress, trade union. Today, if you want to talk to anyone, indeed, last Friday, when we were celebrating Workers' Day, we had reps from the Trade Union Congress being there. I also saw Rashid Purple being there. I mean, they are all there, but Trade Union Congress is what I'm talking about. As we speak, the membership of TUC is way down. Only 10% of workers are unionized. 10% are unionized. And Trade Union talks about unionized workers. And so if we have about 10% being unionized, what is Trade Union Congress doing to ensure that all other workers are also put in a unionized form and are part of the Trade Union Congress? The other one is the low productivity jobs. Many people work, but output per worker is low. More people sharing smaller wage pool. Workers are pretending to be working. Government and employers are also pretending to be employing. I remember a funny story. Some years back, I was working somewhere, and the owner made a comment. We had a DEBA, of staff DEBA, and he made a comment. He said that you are always complaining that you are not being paid well, but don't you also know that I am aware that you are stealing from me? So the cycle goes on. So the worker is stealing. The employer in this case is aware that the salary is not good, but he thinks that by reducing the salary, the difference, he will make it up. He will use it to take care of what the workers are stealing from him. So why don't we rather increase the salary to prevent workers from stealing? Why don't we increase the salary to make sure that workers feel that they are safe and they are fairly being treated? And we move on and have that good cycle instead of having this kind of cycle that is not helping this country move forward, and it is not transforming the future of this country as this program sought to do. One or two messages, and then I'll bring the conversation to a closure. This one says that, Mr. Wilson, where is Ghana's money? I mean, there's no money in this country. You didn't add your name. This one says, my name is Awal. Mr. President, do the right things. Ghana is for you. Awal, okay. This one says, Mr. Wilson, please tell Mr. Mahama to help us. Our town is becoming dirty. Our town is becoming dirty. In fact, Ghana, not just Ghana, Accra, and I don't know where this tester is testing from, but Accra is speedily becoming a junkyard. And we'll have an episode for that. We'll have a conversation for that. If you come to where I live, 2/3 of the road has been taken by mechanics, and they have parked broken vehicles. And I'm sure it is the same at your end. But we'll have that conversation in due course. So yes, I understand and I appreciate the fact that our town has become so dirty. Mr. Wilson, leadership of labor should not always be interested in demanding for increase in salaries, living wages, but should also be interested in increasing productivity on the part of workers. And this is Asanko from Santa Maria. Ghana's GDP. Okay, and this I have received so many, so I'll just read this one to take off all the others. And it has to do with the figures, the calculation that I made you do. This one says that Ghana's GDP per person per month is 205 Ghana cedis. In Norway, the GDP per person per month is 8,066 Ghana cedis. Oh, sorry, we are talking about dollars, sorry, not cedis. So Ghana's GDP per person is $205. In Norway, GDP per person per month is $8,066. And so you can do the comparison and you can know what is happening. Norway, Ghana. Why won't people want to leave this country and go to a country such as Norway, America, or even South Africa? Because they know that the GDP there is better than ours here. What is it that our economy is not doing or fixing well? So thank you very much. This is Dakwa Yamua Ponko from Atomic Hills Estate. So I have read Yamua Ponko's message to cover all of you who brought in the figures. Thank you so much for doing the calculation. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. In Ghana, there are too many employees in the public sector and civil service. Most of these are doing virtually nothing. Only few people work in the public sector to cover the total population. The coefficient of variation is very high. The public sector should be streamlined and their numbers reduced. Besides, the government must create more opportunities in the agri sector to employ the youth. In Ghana, the agribusinesses value chain can help. And yes, that is one other thing that with time, I'm sure the next episode that we'll be having on this will go into. The fact that we are exporting raw materials so much instead of refining them. And if we do the refining here, we end up when we put value, we add value to the products here before we export, we will end up creating a lot of employment and the labor share will increase. Mr. Wilson, Ghanaian firms have more than enough laws and policies on salaries and remuneration. But the problem is the application of such laws and policies or the enforcement. More often than not, these policies are applied selectively and based on who you know at the top or who at the top is vouching for. This creates an endless cycle of frustrated labor force. You didn't add your name. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Please help us ask NTC, and for that matter, JAS, when are they going to release the teachers' promotion results to get us placed on the right salary scale? The aptitude test took place in December last year. Please help us. Thanks. And this is Sir Bash from Takwa. I'll take the very last one. Thank you so much. The number of messages that have come. The very last one. Mr. Wilson, we thank you for your good work to mother Ghana. Please, let's try to hammer this issue very hard because we, the drivers, are really suffering. And when it comes to our future, since we have no backup concerning pension, please help us. And this is coming from Kodia Emmanuel, aka Kumasi Mini Taxi Drivers and Owners Union of Ghana. And he is the national chairman. Okay, so national chairman of Kumasi Mini Taxi Drivers and Owners Union of Ghana, Mr. Emmanuel Kodia. Thank you so much for sending in the message. Unfortunately, because of time, I appreciate and acknowledge the many messages that have come through. Because of time, we wouldn't be able to have more of this, the messages. I've always been telling you that we have a Politics and Beyond platform where discussions of this nature takes place. Goes beyond the hours that we spend on this platform. Every day we discuss it among ourselves. If you want to be part of the platform, it's a WhatsApp discussion platform. If you want to be part of it, just send a message to the WhatsApp line that is on the screen that you want to be added to the platform, and you'll be added. And these messages that I'm not able to read here, we will continue engaging on it on the platform. All too soon, this is where time will allow us. I believe that we've had some fruitful conversation and we've brought to bear the issues confronting laborers or workers of this country. We'll continue the conversation. Next week, we will see whether we'll have another episode dedicated to workers or we'll have to move on to another thing. But trust me, we must stop the cycle of workers pretending to be working and governments also pretending to be paying workers. At the end of the day, it is the foundation of this country that will suffer. And that is why it is important for us to pay workers what is due. And workers must also put in their very best what is due. TUC must be up and doing. You can't say that you are the mouthpiece of workers of this country, and yet these challenges are going on. You can't say that you are the workers, the mouthpiece of this country, and your union represents just about 10% unionized workers that we have in this country. The 90%, what is happening to them, or where are they? The over 80% workers in the informal sector, what is happening to them? When we talk of workers, traders are part of them. When we talk of workers, teachers are part. When we talk of workers, drivers are part. Taxi drivers, Uber drivers, they are all part of it. Who is pursuing their interests? What is happening to them? Just last 2 weeks or so, I encountered a driver, an Uber driver, who was talking about how much they are being paid, the taxes that is being taken from their work and all that. And it was so strange. It was disheartening. But at the end of the day, we are supposed to have a trade union congress that is supposed to be a mouthpiece for all these workers. TUC, sit up. All too soon, this is where time will allow us. So we'll meet again next week. My name is Emmanuel Wilson Jr., as you know, the chief crusader against corruption here in Ghana. And all I can say for now